Dear students, in the earlier sessions, 2 sessions, I have taught you about the derivative of the composite functions and we have worked out some problems. Now in today's session, you can see here, I am considering about the derivatives of inverse trigonometric function. In the second year PUC portion, the second chapter, you have studied about this one, inverse trigonometric function. When do you define an inverse trigonometric function and the standard properties, some important properties about them we have studied in detail in that particular chapter. I am using that knowledge of inverse trigonometric function here to find the derivative of the inverse trigonometric function. Now, 6 function, of course, whatever domain and all we had considered here, no, I will be discussing here also. But generally, if it is asked for the derivation, it can be expected for a 2-mark question, because here we do not derive using the first principles method, but we use the chain rule here, or using the considering that as a composite function, we do the derivation of this particular this important formulae. Now, let me consider the first one. See, what is the first function we had considered? It is y is equal to sin inverse x. Y is equal to sin inverse x. We go in the same order, sin inverse x. So, y is equal to sin inverse x. Here we have to find the derivative, that is we have to calculate dy by dx. Now, using the definition of the inverse trigonometric function, I can write this as sin y, the definition of the inverse trigonometric function. So, if x is equal to sin y, then we read it y is equal to sin inverse of x. Now, this can be written as sin y would be equal to x. Now, differentiate. That is why I told that we are using the chain rule here. Differentiate with respect to x. Differentiate with respect to x here. So, here we are differentiating the function with respect to x. In other words, we want dy by dx. So, sin y we are having, therefore, it becomes cos y into y is differentiated with respect to x means we have dy by dx. So, it is actually composite function. We are differentiating using the chain rule, sin y becomes cos y and y becomes dy by dx, and x is 1 because we are differentiating with respect to x. Therefore, I can write here dy by dx is equal to 1 divided by cos y. See, the function is given in terms of x, that is y has been expressed in terms of x means even dy by dx should be expressed in terms of x only. For that, no, we make use of the basic identity of trigonometry. You know that sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. Therefore, we write here 1 over cos y could be written as root of 1 minus sin square y, because you know that cos square theta plus sin square theta is equal to 1. So, cos square y is 1 minus sin square y, or cos y would be square root of 1 minus sin square y. We know the value of sin y, which is x here. So, 1 divided by root of 1 minus x square. So, this is dy by dx. So, this is the formula for this one. Now, when we discussed about the inverse trigonometric function, we have taken the domain to be -1 to +1 here. Of course, it was a closed interval. Here, we omit those, we consider the open interval -1 +1, because if you take x to be belonging to the closed interval -1 +1, we will be getting 0 in the denominator. So, in this when we discuss about this one, the domain should be taken as -1 to +1, which has to be an open interval, okay, and then automatically y belongs to the open interval minus pi by 2 comma plus pi by 2. Usually that won't be asked here. If at all this is asked for the derivation, this part, it can be expected for a 2-mark question. Otherwise, you have to by heart the formula, that is important. So, whenever y is sin inverse x, the derivative is 1 over square root of 1 minus x square. Now, similarly, on the same lines, we are calculating the derivatives of all the 6 trigonometric functions. Then after you are familiar with all the formulae, we will be working out the problems. So let me move on to the second one. Second one is y is equal to cos inverse of x. Y equal to cos inverse of x. That is using the definition of the inverse trigonometry function. How do you write this one? Cos y can be written as x. Now as usual, differentiate with respect to x. Differentiate with respect to x. That is, you know that the derivative of cos x is minus sin x. So you can write it as minus sin y. So cos y becomes minus sin y, but y becomes dy by dx. And the right hand side is 1, because in all these functions, so right hand side would be x. So when you differentiate with respect to x, it would be automatically equal to 1. That is dy by dx would be equal to minus 1 divided by sin y. I have taken minus to the right hand side. Again we write this sin y in terms of cos y, that is using again the first identity of trigonometry. Sin y could be written as square root of 1 minus cos square y. And what is cos y? It is equal to x. Hence we have minus 1 over root of 1 minus x square. So this is the formula for cos inverse x. So sin inverse x, the same term, it was plus 1 by root of 1 minus x square. Now it is minus 1 over root of 1 minus x square. Now this is the derivative of the inverse function, cos inverse function. Now let me move on to the third one. So third one is the same order I consider as the functions, trigonometry function. Let y be equal to tan inverse x. Now using the definition of the trigonometry function, inverse trigonometry function, it is tan y would be equal to x. Now differentiate. See, here afterwards you have to be careful. We are using all the three identities here. For the first and the second formulae, we made use of the first identity. Sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. Now I am using here sin y equal to x. Therefore differentiate with respect to x. Differentiate with respect to x. So what is the derivative of tan x? It is secant square x. But we are having y. Therefore we have secant square y. For y the derivative is dy by dx. For x it is 1. Therefore we are having now dy by dx is equal to 1 divided by secant square y. So now we make use of the second identity of trigonometry. What does it say? 1 plus tan square theta is equal to secant square theta. So the secant square y can be written as 1 over, it is 1 plus tan square y. 1 plus tan square y. In the earlier one we had sin y cos y, so we have to take root of that number. Here we are having the square term, so directly we can write secant square y as 1 plus tan square y. But what is tan y equal to? That is equal to x. Therefore the formula in this case becomes dy by dx equal to 1 over 1 plus x square. So this is the derivative of the tan inverse function. Of course, you can write the reason here, since we know that sin square, in the earlier two cases, sin square theta plus cos square theta equal to 1. I have told them you can write in the working column. Here also you can give the reason, since sin square theta is equal to 1 plus tan square theta. Now let me move on to the remaining inverse trigonometric functions. Now let me consider the fourth one as cot y is equal to cot inverse of x. Tan inverse x I had considered. Now I am taking cot inverse of x. Why I am taking this order means we will be having the same terms, only the sign would be different. You might have observed sin inverse x has a derivative 1 over root of 1 minus x square. Cos inverse x has a derivative minus 1 over root of 1 minus x square. So it is easy to remember. Now tan inverse x has a derivative 1 over 1 plus x square. It will be almost same in this case also. So I am considering in the same order. So cot y becomes x here. Now the same procedure, same statement we are writing, differentiate with respect to x. Differentiate with respect to x, that is, here be careful, cot x has a derivative minus cosecant square x, that is minus cosecant square y in this case, and for y it is dy by dx, that is equal to 1. So in trigonometry functions, because in all of them when you use the definition of the inverse function, the right hand side would be x. When you differentiate with respect to x, always you get here 1 on the right hand side. Therefore, dy by dx would be equal to minus 1 divided by cosecant square y. Now which identity I am using? The last identity of trigonometry. What does it say? 1 plus cot square theta is equal to cosecant square theta. In the place of theta I am having y, that is all. Therefore it is 1 plus cot square y, and we know that cot y is equal to x, hence we get the formula dy by dx is minus 1 over 1 plus x square. So this is the, so that's why I told you for tan inverse x it was 1 over 1 plus x square, for cot inverse x it is minus 1 over 1 plus x square. Now, so the sine inverse and cos inverse have the same term, only the sign is different. Tan inverse and cot inverse x have the same derivative, only the sign is different. Now let me take up the next one, that is y is equal to secant inverse x. Here little bit careful you have to be. Now first let me write the value secant y is equal to x. These are same for all the derivation. So differentiate with respect to x. Now remember, what's the derivative of secant x? It was secant x into tan x, that is why I am taking them together. Here in all the other 4 derivations, just now we did, we had only one term on the left hand side, sin y, cos y, secant square y, for tan x it is secant square y or minus cosecant square y, that is only one term. Whereas the derivative of secant x is secant x into tan x. So we are getting here secant y into tan y, into, for y it is dy by dx, and this would be equal to 1. So that is the difference in this and the next derivative. Therefore, we have to be little bit careful here while writing the respective values. It is 1 divided by secant y into tan y. Now, see secant y you can write as x here. It is not a problem. But tan y also has to be written using x only. For that now I am using this identity secant square theta plus secant square theta is equal to tan square theta plus 1, isn't it? Tan square theta plus 1. Therefore, if you take 1 to the left hand side, tan square theta is secant square theta minus 1, isn't it? I am using again the second identity. So let me write first tan y also in terms of secant y, then you can write the result here. So it is 1 by secant y into tan square theta, here only we are having tan y, so it is root of secant square y minus 1. Theta will be replaced by y. Now secant y is x, means you can write the result here, dy by dx would be 1 divided by, for this it is x into root of x square minus 1. So this is how you have to calculate. So that's the difference in this the derivation of this particular formula, because we are having a product of 2 functions here, and using the same identity we try to express both the terms in terms of the given variable x. So the formula becomes 1 divided by x into root of x square minus 1. Now we move on to the last formula, which is also same terms we are getting, only the sign is different, that is the 6th one. let y be equal to cosecant inverse x. That is, first you write cosecant y would be equal to x. That is what I told you. Always you will be getting x on the right hand side. Now, same procedure. Differentiate with respect to x. Now, again, what is the derivative of cosecant x? It is minus cosecant x into cot x. So, in the place of x, I am having y. It is minus cosecant y into cot y into, for y it is dy by dx, for x it is 1. Therefore, what is dy by dx equal to, same thing, shifting it to the right hand side, minus 1 divided by cosecant y into cot y. Now, here again we are using the third identity which connects cosecant theta and cot theta. The third identity, what does it say? Cosecant square theta is equal to 1 plus cot square theta. That is, cot square theta can be written as cosecant square theta minus 1. Okay, I am using this one. So, what you have here, first write dy by dx, that is equal to minus 1 divided by cosecant y, as you know, is equal to 1. So, I will write cosecant y as it is, cosecant y, but this cot y should be written using the ratio cosecant y. For that, now I make use of this identity. It is square root of cosecant square y minus 1. In the place of theta, I have written y here. Now, it is clear, dy by dx would be equal to minus 1 divided by x into root of x square minus 1. That is what I told you. Secant inverse x and cosecant inverse x, both of them have the same derivative, only the difference is in the respective sign. Secant inverse x 1 over this quantity, for cosecant it is minus 1 over that one. So, that is why I have taken in the same order, so that they will be having the derivative would be same, numerically it would be same, the sign would be different in the second case. So, these are the 6 formulae which we have learnt here. So, let me write them in an order. It is y is equal to sin inverse x, then better you write them together, so that easy, always know any formula we derive, you just take them, write all of them in one stretch, so that whenever you want to refer to it, you will have all the results in one place. Then second one, y is equal to cos inverse x. Therefore, dy by dx would be minus 1 divided by root 1 minus x square. Now, third one, y is equal to tan inverse x. Dy by dx is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus x square. And then y is equal to cot inverse x. Dy by dx is minus 1 over 1 plus x square. Now, fifth one is y is equal to secant inverse x, then dy by dx is 1 divided by x root of x square minus 1. The last one is y is equal to cosecant inverse of x, hence this would be dy by dx is, the term is same, minus 1 divided by x root of x square minus 1. So, these are the 6 formulae you have studied here. Now, be careful when you apply here. See, working out the problems, you may not have the same x here. See, basic thing you remember, sin inverse x. Sin inverse x means, look at the right hand side, that is dy by dx. Dy by dx is 1 over root of 1 minus x square. So, when x is there, in the denominator we have square root of 1 minus square of that number. In the place of x, suppose you are having root x, then it becomes a composite function. Sin inverse x, it becomes a simple function. if you write root x or 1 by x or x square or whatever may be any function other than x here, it becomes a composite function. In that case now you have to apply the chain rule. In most of the problems on this will not be a simple function, it would be a composite function. Now for a 1 mark question, suppose it is given like this: find the derivative of y equal to sin inverse x plus cos inverse x. Now, especially in working out the problems on finding the derivative of inverse trigonometric functions, whatever properties you have learned under the chapter inverse trigonometric function, they would be helpful for us. Now, suppose you want to differentiate this one, y equal to sin inverse x plus cos inverse x. If you go through the formulae, you can write dy by dx is equal to, what's the formula for sin inverse x? 1 divided by root of 1 minus x square. For cos inverse x, what's the formula? Minus 1 over root of 1 minus x square. Now you see that they get cancelled, hence the derivative becomes 0. Now, of course, if you do like this also, you get the marks for that one. Now look here. Suppose you remember a property which was studied under the inverse trigonometry function, sin inverse x plus cos inverse x. We have proved that that's equal to pi by 2. Similarly, tan inverse x and cot inverse x, secant inverse x plus cosine. We have shown that each one, sum of these two will be equal to pi by 2. Even if you don't remember, if you work out problem directly, you get the marks, no doubt. But when you have a ready result here, some property, it's better to use that one. Y would be equal to pi by 2. Because if you take these two together, you observe one is positive, the other is negative. So when you differentiate, automatically they get cancelled and you will be always getting 0. So if you use that particular property, y can be written as pi by 2. What is pi by 2? It means it is a constant. Therefore, when you differentiate, automatically it would be equal to 0. Okay. So like this, if you use the property, then differentiate, you get the 0. Or if you directly differentiate also, you get the result to be equal to 0. Now, by heart all these formulae, they are important, because then only you can work out the problems. Using them, you can work out the problems here. Now, usually the problems I will be giving you will not be very simple functions. I mean the problem which I am considering, I will not be having only sin inverse x, cos inverse x like that. In the place of x now, some other term. So almost all the functions would be composite function. Either you will be using whatever properties you have learnt under inverse trigonometry function. Then what happens, if you use the properties, the function becomes simpler. So differentiation part becomes easier. So that is what we do in the next session. The next session I am going to work out some problems in which I find the derivative of the trigonometry functions. They may be simple function or they may be composite functions. Thank you.